Call of Duty Black Ops 6 has been out for a few weeks now, and it's been pushing some pretty impressive metrics, with it being the most successful weekend launch out of all Call of Duty franchises. But if Black Ops 6 has been leaving you feeling frustrated and reminiscing Call of Duty Black Ops 4 days, then the game that we're going to be talking about today might be exactly what you're looking for. Welcome back to another episode of What's New Wednesday. It is November the 13th of 2024, and we are going to be talking about things that have happened in the world of crypto and blockchain gaming between November the 6th and the 13th. What are the topics this week? Bitcoin has continued to print new all-time highs, with it just touching 93K before retracing back to 88K today. Shatterline is an FPS game that is activating with its global launch December the 5th. It initially launched in 2022, but was recently acquired by Faraway Games, who are the creators of games like Dookie, and they'll be relaunching Shatterline on the Avalanche blockchain. On the Openloot front, two games have been making waves as they near complete implementation of their economies, so we will talk a bit about Bossfighters and a bit about Worldshards today. And last week, we were talking about some pretty juicy Openloot OLRP token drops for Openloot VIPs. Well, on the 11th, big time players got an even more juicy airdrop that we need to cover. How much OLRP did you get? First topic, Bitcoin has hit several new all-time highs this week. Hitting 93K today is the most recent all-time high. Before retracing, that went down to about 88K, and it's now kind of settling around 90K. So did we just turn 90K into support? We'll have to see. We're going to continue on the topic we were talking about last week. If you missed last week, we're kind of talking about, is this pump, is this bullish price action going to be a case of buy the rumor, sell the news? And if that's the case, what is the rumor? What is the news? What clues can we find? So last week we talked about a couple promises that Team Red made regarding SEC Chair Gary Gensler and the establishment of a BTC Federal Reserve. Those are the two main topics. Today we can see some more content about those rumors, but in my opinion, these are still just rumors. This isn't the news yet. So there's an article here by Crypto Paladin. There's actually been quite a few articles this week or today that have talked about SEC Chair Gary Gensler, who he's going to be replaced, is he going to leave? This article here is called Former SEC Attorney John Reed Stark tells Chair Gary Gensler to resign. John Reed Stark wants SC Chair Gary Gensler out, telling him to resign and to kill all his crypto enforcement plans. Stark believes the SEC should quit its crypto crackdown and leave it to other agencies, saying people have spoken in favor of crypto. Okay, so it says Team Red is eyeing replacements for Gensler with crypto-friendly names like Dan Gallagher, Paul Atkins, and Mark Uyeda. So what the important things on this article? Let's point out a couple things here. One important thing to note is that this article says that technically Gensler's chair term runs out in 2026, but Trump did pledge to fire Gensler on day one, which begs the question, will he do it? Another thing that's important to note is that Team Red spokesman Caroline Leavitt has confirmed that they haven't finalized a decision on a replacement for Gary Gensler yet, but the pressure is on and a change at the SEC feels almost inevitable. This is what the article says. So that means that we don't know for sure if they even have a replacement. It's important also to think about the fact that over the span of the past couple of weeks, just like the past week, there's been quite a few other government positions that have been announced that Team Red is going to be filling. So we'll have to see. But Gary Gensler himself even said that traditionally presidents decide who chairs the SEC. So it seems like he's kind of aware that his days are numbered. But yeah, there hasn't been a replacement decided yet. And if the replacement hasn't been decided in January, then who knows what's going to happen with, in my opinion, the price of crypto. I think maybe the sentiment of where crypto is going to be going could be dependent on who is decided, which one of these runner-up will fill the position. But yeah, so we'll just have to keep an eye out for that. So moving on from this topic, talking about the Federal Reserve, that was one of the other promises that Team Red made, that they were going to use Bitcoin as a strategic Federal Reserve. There's this X post by BTC Archive that says, just in, Bitcoin would hit 500,000 if strategic reserve happens. Countries are already buying Bitcoin. So this video sort of talks about the Bitcoin strategic reserve and suggests that Bitcoin could hit all the way up to 500K if the US follows through with this rumor, the rumor being that it's going to make Bitcoin a Federal Reserve. It suggests that Bitcoin Bitcoin could hit 500K, but it also sort of stresses that that probably wouldn't be something that we would see in the near term. It could happen over the span of the next few years. If it did blow up to 500K, there could be some inflation that happens from like a governmental perspective, just trying to manage the ballooning cost. But why would it hit 500K? That could be because if the US decides to use Bitcoin as a Federal Reserve, it could pressure other countries to start accumulating Bitcoin as a Federal Reserve, and that could put Bitcoin in a similar position as gold. Gold is worth like $800,000 per gold. So we could see Bitcoin kind of do the same thing as gold. That's kind of what the video talks about. If that ever does happen, I don't know. I'm gonna really kick myself for not buying more Bitcoin when it was worth like 15K. What does this mean in the short term though? I still think that we will continue to trend bullish into January, or at least until we have confirmation that Gensler is out and we know who the replacement is. I think that's the main rumor that we need to be paying attention to. The Federal Reserve sort of narrative, that's probably going to continue into like Q2 of 2025 would be my expectation. But I do think that we'll probably be trending bullish until we at least get some sort of confirmation Gary Gensler will be out and we know who the replacement is. In the short term, we want to see Bitcoin flip 90K into support, then have it continue to trend up towards 100K, and then fight against the huge psychological barrier that will be 100K. If we can break above 100K, then who knows? Okay, so Shatterline is a fast-paced FPS game that initially came out in 2022 and had a pretty successful launch for a game that has like no IP really. Unfortunately, the popularity died out quite quickly as the dev company Frag Lab fumbled the ball on marketing, likely because of a low budget for marketing. But it's also important to note that Frag Lab is based in Kiev, Ukraine, and this game launched in 2022, literally as a war broke out while they were launching the game. So that could also be a factor to why the game kind of fizzled out. It launched on Steam, it had a pretty nice launch, and then daily active users just really dropped. And part of it was because people just weren't making content about the game, they weren't able to market the game effectively. Shatterline kind of fell to the wayside. But regardless of that, the studio did do a pretty good job at polishing the game, making improvements. If you look on their website here, you can see lots and lots of patch notes over the past 2 years. So they've put a lot of work into polishing the game and helping introducing new content to the game. They've done a pretty good job at that. But let's actually take a look at the game. Last week, there was a tournament that was hosted, a $15,000 tournament for Shatterline in preparation for the global launch coming in December the 5th. So several Web3 creators, we participated in the tournament. We've got Jesus here. He's having a fun time with that Gatling gun. We got Bryson here.
What the fuck is spawn cap in the right contrapping? Go back. Back a bit, like, okay. Because here it's a spawn trap, honestly. Yeah, I'll just keep resing you.
So we got Bryson playing there. We got some other people participating in the tournament.
They're probably gonna try the apartments again.
1 minute, 1 minute left.
Yeah, they are. One jumping. 2, 3, yeah.
One on point, one didn't go apartment.
Hold it. Only one
Nice,
behind,
nice,
only one
nice.
behind. Behind.
Got him. Almost.
Let's get. They're going apartment again. They're going through apartments. Stone guy. Two apartments.
A point. There's two.
No. Ups.
Everything.
So the gameplay looks like a lot of fun. You see really nice, smooth movement. You see awesome reload mechanics, good recoil management, and you also see a pretty long time to kill, very similar to a game like Black Ops 4, and similar graphics too. So pretty cool. They got some cool player abilities that sort of makes it a little different than Black Ops, but looks like a lot of fun. Definitely some promising things in this game, and it's coming out soon. So it kind of makes you think, no wonder Faraway Labs acquired it, but who is Faraway Labs, right? Essentially, Faraway Labs is the game development company for Bored Ape Yacht Club. They develop Dookie Dash, HVMTL, which stands for Heavy Metal, is also sort of like a Bored Ape game. Now they've acquired Shatterline FPS. So the general gist of Faraway Labs is they're trying to build interoperability between their game ecosystem, right? So some NFTs will be usable in other games, kind of an idea. That leads to what kind of blockchain elements are we going to see implemented into Shatterline? From my understanding, it's the HVMTL NFTs that are going to be implemented in Shatterline and the heavy metal ones. And in general, the heavy metal, it's kind of like a crypto Tamagotchi type sort of game. So we'll take a look at that. But first, let's just take a look at the NFTs. These are the NFTs that you can buy. This is kind of what the current game is for heavy metal as far as I'm aware. It came out in 2023. The gist is you get an NFT and then you can build a little place for them. As you build the place, you have to try and keep your little heavy metal guy happy while he's going about his business. Generate more energy, you got to keep him happy, you got to clean up his poop because he poops oil, I guess. That's what the heavy metal game was initially. An interesting thing about heavy metal and the NFTs here is they're dynamic NFTs. So you go to their website, it literally says your HV is a unique dynamic NFT possessed of skills and personality. It evolves based on decisions you make, so don't F it up. There are 8 different HV types and countless traits and combinations. So that's a pretty interesting thing. So if you get these NFTs, they grow or don't grow or develop as you care for them or don't care for them. So what does this mean for Shatterline? What I can gather is that, so Shatterline has multiple game modes, right? It has quite a few different game modes. It has Expedition, it has Co-op, Invasion, Escort, Deathmatch, Conquest, Plant Bomb, Elimination. But the only gameplay modes of Shatterline that are going to have a blockchain element in it is going to be the co-op. Co-op is kind of like a roguelike co-op story mode that you can play. It's PvE. And how the heavy metals are going to be implemented in this game is that you're going to be able to equip your heavy metal and it'll be like a little helper bot that will be able to do a variety of different things based off of its traits. So maybe it'll be like a combat bot. Maybe there'll be bots that are more porting. That's the gist. That's what I've come to understand about what the blockchain elements are going to be in Shatterline, at least when it launches in December. I'm thinking there could be like items, currency, fuel, different things that you can get that will help your bot NFT develop in game. That's what I would expect. Since it's already a dynamic NFT, it would make sense that by using it in Shatterline, you'd be able to sort of help develop it further and help your bot improve. Right now, the game is on wishlist on the Epic Store. So you can just wishlist it and it's coming out December the 9th. They put out a couple articles earlier this year, right? Once it was acquired by Faraway Games, and they closed their servers August 1st, reimbursed everybody in the community for any purchases. I think they've tried to do their best by the community, but there still is quite a few Web 2 gamers that are frustrated and upset about the change. But it's a pretty interesting looking game, and it seems like it's got a lot of potential, especially in the Web 3 space. Faraway Games is definitely kind of a powerhouse when it comes to marketing and activation. We'll see what happens. The last thing I wanted to talk about is that these heavy metal NFTs, when they first came out in 2023, they were being bought and sold for like over an ETH, which is like thousands of dollars. But right now, the floor is like $100, like 80 to $100. So will this change once the NFTs start to get more utility being useful in the Shatterline game? Potentially. So if you're looking for something maybe to scoop up, maybe there might be some potential for you to be able to use it in Shatterline, or maybe you want to flip something. This might be something you might want to check out. That's it for the Shatterline topic. Openloot Games, Worldshards, and Bossfighters both have a lot going on right now. Worldshards just did a huge game-wide reset, forcing players to have to rebuild their homes and re-level up their NFTs. But why did they have to do this? It's because they are laying the foundation for the implementation of their trial token, as well as the ability for players to be able to craft higher rarity items, similar to the way that the crafting system works in Big Time. So there's a bunch of different contests also that's going on, and leaderboards. Definitely worth checking out their Discord. Jump in their Discord. They have a lot of news going out. There's several different contests, one just for submitting a video of a home you've built, another for how much comfort you've been able to generate generate in your land. There's also contests for how much monsters you're killing or how many things you're crafting. If you're into Worldshards, I would definitely recommend checking it out. They are really close to being able to implementing their test token. And once the test token goes live, then, you know, there's going to be all sorts of fun things that we can do. Yeah, definitely worth checking out. So Bossfighters also just about to launch their economy. Got this post here. There's attention, Bossfighters fans. Flex is now live on Openloot. Flex, your go-to for recharging those essential badges, is now available and at a discount. They also posted this saying, economy test turbo mode activated. For the duration of the economy test, we're supercharging the game economy so you can dive in and see the full potential of Bossfighters. Badge crafting is 24 times faster. Recharge time is 4 times faster. These speeds will gradually slow to normal in the coming weeks, so take advantage of the boost to get a feel of the game's economy in high gear. They also posted this. They say that they got these booster packs you can get, and in this article it says that mark your calendars on November the 14th. We're launching the economy test. With it, you can start monetizing your gameplay. This economy test will last for 1 month, after which the full economy will be officially launched. But you don't have to wait. Your monetizing journey begins November the 14th. This could be your most lucrative opportunity of the year to dive into Bossfighters economy. We've prepared a highly limited edition of starter and booster packs. So these booster packs aren't like too crazy. They're pretty cheap, or as far as things can go. They get you started. They give you all the sort of stuff you need to get started. They have these badges in them that are pre-charged. They're disposable badges, so you don't need to have like a showrunner contract in order to be able to start earning with these starter packs, which is kind of neat. But I would definitely recommend, if you are really interested in getting into Bossfighters, to make sure you get a showrunner contract or 2 locked in so that you can start crafting your own badges and charging them, as well as making your own NFTs using the proxy BFT token. So that's also kind of their test token. I'm not really sure what their plan is for migrating those tokens over to the mainnet once they're finished their test, but I'm sure they'll do something. But yeah, if you guys want to learn about either one of these 2 games, Bossfighters or Worldshards, if you want to learn about Bossfighters, I recommend you guys check out twitch.tv/Yandor. He has a lot of knowledge and he's really big into the Bossfighters economy. And if you want to get into the Worldshards game, I recommend you guys check out twitch.tv/CustomTV, and he's got a lot of knowledge about Worldshards. He's a bank of information if you want to know more about how to get into Worldshards or how the economy for Worldshards is going to work. So that's it for Openloot topics. Final topic is big time. Last week we were talking about how there was this VIP OLRP airdrop, and I told you guys that I got about 100,000 Openloot reward points, and I was pretty stoked about that. Well, this week I got 630,000 Openloot reward points, and it's called an early adopter OLRP airdrop. And if you check out the post, it says that this airdrop is dedicated to early adopters who helped pave the way by supporting OLRP from the very beginning. It's our way of saying thank you for your commitment and trust in big time. So it is an early adopters airdrop, I think mainly for people who were looting OLRP early in the game, similar to some of their other airdrops. But yeah, if you guys were playing big time and collecting OLRP in the game, you probably got yourself a juicy OLRP airdrop. How much were you guys able to get for your airdrop? I'm sure there's got to be someone who got significantly more from this airdrop than I did. But yeah, how much of an airdrop did you guys get? Let me know in the comments. And that is it for this week of What's New Wednesday. If you are watching this in the future, be sure to like, be sure to follow, subscribe, leave a comment, and as always, don't forget to tell somebody about it, and I will see you guys next week. Peace.